In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a song like Kurtains. If you don't know who Kurtains is, he's a hyperpop artist who makes some really cool music. I'll play some of his music now. One more thing, if you did end up enjoying the video, please do like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Also, if you ever get stuck with any of my tutorials and need help or just want feedback with any of your music, I have just created a Discord server for this channel. It will be the first link in the description. Anyways, let's get on with the video. Hello, everybody. So step 1 to making a Kurtains song is getting a good melody. So for the melody, I'm using from my from the kit that I used in the last video, the Hyperpop one shot. I'm using this pluck, and then what I did with the pluck is I made it cut itself so it didn't do anything, and then added an EQ to cut all the lows. I added some reverb and I added some delay, and I made this melody, which sounds like this. If you want a tutorial on how to make melodies like this, I just made one, and I'll link it in the card and I'll put it in the description. Okay, then once you have your melody, I normally start off with the 808s. So I made this 808 pattern, which from the Hyperpop kit, which I'll link also in the description, I used Hickey's favorite 808, which sounds really cool. And then I added some EQ to cut out all the really lows and added some bass. And I added some distortion with pretty fat distort. And then I made the 808 sound like this. Okay, then once you have an 808, I normally just get a kick and layer it with the 808. And I added a few extra different like in between notes for the kick, but it normally just follows the 808 pattern. And for the kick, the one that I'm using is 3 different kicks. I'm using booming kick, and I'm using a different kick, and I'm using the get kick, which is this one. And then together, it sounds like this. Okay, then once you have your kick, you want to get a snare and a clap. So the clap that I used, and for like the snares and stuff, I used the Bit Crush Snare 1, which is this one. I also used a clean snare, and and that's all I used, a Bit Crush Snare and a clean snare, which sounds like this. And then with the 808s and the kick, it sounds like this. Okay, next thing you want to add is some perks. So I added a really simple, just really quiet, you don't really hear it in the actual thing, but it's just there, it's just this perk, which is this. So it just goes with the clap. And then what I did, I grabbed this background hi-hat loop, which sounds really sick. It's also from the Hyperpop kit. It's in drums and loops. It's this background loop 155, which sounds like this, which I turned down quite a bit, but it just sounds really nice just in the background. Then what I did is I just made some simple hi-hats with the clean hi-hat, and just added some rolls, and also cut out the hi-hat sometimes, so it sounds like this. I also changed the velocity a bit to make it sound a bit more real. And then all together, the whole beat and the melody, everything sounds like this. Okay, then once you have your beat, what you kind of want to do is just arrange it how you do with beats. So what I did, I just made the beat, cut out some things. So yeah, those are all just cuts that I did with the vocals. So now onto the vocals. What I did is, let me just first show you the tracks I have for the vocals. So this is how the vocals at the beginning sound.
Fuck around and make your devil cry. I know you love it when I'm hypnotized.
Okay, and what that is, I know it sounds like a lot, but it's very simple. So what I did, there's a bunch of layers. So for the first layer, I just added a normal auto tune, but I turned the speed up and the depth, and I also changed the format shift to 230 just to make it sound like Hyperpop, because normally it would sound like this.
Fuck around and make your devil cry. I know you love it when I'm.
So what I did is I just pitched it up to, so it sounds like this.
Fuck around and make your devil cry.
And then what I did is I added a limiter. If you want to copy these settings, you can. So just copy all of this at the bottom. And then I also added a compressor. If you want to copy them, they'll be here now. And then I also added an EQ. Once again, you can copy. And then for the reverb, I just turned down the size, made the wet completely up and the dry completely low, and turned it down a lot on the knob. So yeah, that's how it makes it sound like this.
Fuck around and make your devil cry. I know you.
Okay, and then for the second track, I made this track here, which is slightly panned to the right, so just that much there. And then basically the effects are almost similar, so it's the same reverb, it's the same limiter, compressor, and EQ. And then I added OTT, and you can just copy these. And then I also added some reverb, but turned it up a bit more than the main track. And the difference in this track is the auto tune. So on the scale, because the scale I think is, yeah, it's A major. What I did from the scale is I turned off all the high notes in the scale and just kept the low notes, which will create a kind of melody. It's a really simple way to create a melody without actually making a proper melody. So yeah, I did that, and that's what I did. So just made the low parts. And then for the next layer, it's the same thing as the one that we just did. So the exact same effects, but instead of having all the low notes of the scale, I had added all the high notes of the scale. So yeah, together they create this harmony sound.
Fuck around and make your devil cry. I know you love it when I'm.
So yeah, and that's how I added the slight melody. And then I also added just a few simple just ad-lib kind of things like this, which is just really simple, same as the main track, just with a lot of reverb and turned down a lot. So yeah, and then also at the beginning of the thing I have this, which is basically just me singing da, and then I just chopped it up a bit so it sounded cool. So it's just all of these chops and then all these chops. And then also for this bit here, I recorded this bit and this bit separately, so it sounds like this. So I can go because you know how Kurtains does this thing where he sings in a higher note. He doesn't actually do that live. He records it separately. So this bit would be recorded first.
I know you love it when I'm
and then the hypnotized bit will be recorded again, but you sing it higher, so like this.
I'm hypnotized.
And yeah, so that is basically what I did for the vocals, and I just added more things.
I just wanna see the way. I just wanna see the way. Make the devil pray. Fuck around.
So yeah, that is the vocals, and thanks for watching. I will have the beat that I made for this song on my beat channel. You can use it if you want and stuff, or purchase it, I don't know. Please do subscribe, it really does help me out. I know I say it a lot, but it seriously helps me out. I'm also thinking of maybe dropping some music, but I don't know, maybe, it's not certain, but maybe. Anyways, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, goodbye.
LTJ made this one.
Fuck around and make your devil cry. I know you love it when I'm hypnotized.
LTJ.
I just wanna see the way. Make the devil pray. Fuck around and make your devil cry. I know you love it when I'm hypnotized.
LTJ.
I just wanna see the way. Make the devil pray.